Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us live from the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Ian Walter, CEO of Nasdaq-listed Portage Biotech, a company that develops immuno-oncology therapies for patients with cancers. Ian, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you very much.
All right, and you rang the Nasdaq opening bell on this Friday, October 8th. What were we celebrating today?
We're celebrating our listing. I mean, it seems like we've come a long way from what I started in my kitchen to where we are today with 10 drugs that we're developing for cancer and obviously moving to Nasdaq and doing our first capital campaign. So today was really just honoring the progress and the transformation of the company over the past year or so to where we are today.
Tell us about Portage and the type of therapies that you're developing.
Sure. So immunotherapy means we are trying to stimulate the immune system to fight cancer for you. So it's very different from things like chemotherapy, which are trying to kill cancer and not kill the person. This is really just boosting the immune system. And when me and members of my team were at BMS prior to this company, we developed some of the leading drugs in this area. And these have been working great. And there are patients, about 20%, sometimes 30%, that appear to be cured from those therapies. It frustrated me that it wasn't more. Mm-hmm. And what we really kind of did is we broke off of Big Pharma, and in an entrepreneurial way, we've been trying to develop other drugs to help the other 70–80% with the hopes that we can kind of make a meaningful difference for these patients' lives.
I mean, that would be quite incredible if you don't have to put your body through chemo.
Absolutely.
I can't even imagine. So tell us about the pipeline of assets and what makes them unique in immunotherapy.
Sure. So we have, 8 or 10. I'll point out that the lead two, which I think are interesting. We license these from Oxford University, and they focus on stimulating a type of immune cell. It's kind of a mouthful, invariant natural killer T cell. So it is an interesting cell that for the most part really wasn't capitalized on until recently. And we're able to stimulate those cells, and they start to go out and stimulate the rest of the immune cells. So they're able to stimulate a whole bunch of different immune response, almost reprogram the immune system and gear it up to battle the cancer for you. And we're really excited to test that. We're going to test them alone. We're going to test them in combination with some of the standard of care drugs with the hope that we can make a difference either by improving on the standard of care or working where the standard of care doesn't work.
So for the IPO, you raised $26.5 million. What is that going to allow Portage to do?
Sure. So, our hope is that we can accelerate these trials. We've initiated 2 trials this year. One of them is in melanoma and lung cancers. The other one is in tumors that express a certain marker on the surface. And the hope is that we can expand those trials by adding more sites, opening them in more countries, trying to get more patients enrolled as quickly as we can, because obviously the data is going to speak for itself. Right. And our goal is to generate that data, as well as some of the other programs that are getting closer to human testing to get those ready to go into the clinic as well.
I mean, that would be amazing not to have chemo. I mean, that's just quite incredible. Thank you so much for joining us at MarketSite. And thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.